A descent into the heart of darkness, introducing Full Metal Jacket. Stanley Kubrick's 1987 masterpiece, Full Metal Jacket, is a harrowing journey into the Vietnam War. Starring Matthew Modine, Vincent D'Onofrio, and R. Lee Ermey, the film explores military indoctrination and the psychological toll of combat. Full Metal Jacket is a chilling exploration of the duality of man and the absurdity of conflict. Paris Island Crucible, forging Marines in fire and fury. The film's opening act takes us to Paris Island, the notorious Marine Corps recruit depot where young men are stripped of their individuality and forged into instruments of war. We meet Private Joker, a cynical observer, and Private Cowboy, his more gung-ho platoon mate. However, it's the tragic figure of Private Leonard Gomer Pyle Lawrence who becomes the focal point of this brutal initiation. Pyle, overweight and slow-witted, is singled out for relentless abuse by the terrifying gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Hartman, a master of psychological warfare, uses a torrent of insults, threats, and humiliation to break down his recruits and mold them in his own image. Ermey's performance is nothing short of electrifying, a force of nature that dominates every scene he's in. The boot camp sequence is a masterclass in tension and psychological torment. Kubrick's camera captures the claustrophobia and dehumanization of military training, where individuality is crushed under the weight of conformity and obedience. We witness the slow unraveling of Private Pyle pushed to the brink by Hartman's relentless abuse. The tragic climax of the boot camp section marks a turning point in the film, leaving an indelible mark on Joker and the audience alike. The Ghosts of War. From boot camp to the battlefields of Hue. The second half of Full Metal Jacket transports us to the battlefields of Vietnam, where the dehumanizing effects of war are on full display. Joker, now a sergeant and combat correspondent for Stars and Stripes, is assigned to a platoon during the Tet Offensive. He reunites with Cowboy and encounters the battle-hardened squad leader Animal Mother, a man seemingly born for war. The film's tone shifts dramatically in Vietnam. The claustrophobic intensity of boot camp gives way to a sense of chaos and disorientation as the Marines find themselves fighting a guerrilla war in a hostile and unfamiliar land. Kubrick masterfully captures the surreal and nightmarish quality of the Vietnam War, where the lines between reality and madness blur. The soldiers, trained to kill, grapple with the moral ambiguity of their mission and the psychological toll of taking lives. Joker, once a detached observer, is forced to confront the horrors of war firsthand. The film reaches its devastating climax during the Battle of Hue, a brutal and chaotic urban conflict that leaves both sides physically and emotionally shattered. Section 4. Joker's Journey. Navigating the Absurdity of War. Throughout Full Metal Jacket, Private Joker serves as our guide through the madness of war. Initially a cynical but detached observer, Joker uses humor and wit as a defense mechanism against the horrors he witnesses. He's a keen observer of human nature, as evidenced by his role as a combat correspondent, recording the stories and experiences of his fellow soldiers. As Joker descends deeper into the heart of the conflict, his cynicism is challenged. He witnesses firsthand the physical and psychological toll of war on his comrades, pushing them to the brink of their humanity. The death of Private Cowboy, a close friend from boot camp, deeply affects Joker, forcing him to confront the personal cost of conflict. By the film's end, Joker has shed his naivete, transformed by the crucible of war. He embraces the duality of man, acknowledging the capacity for both compassion and cruelty that resides within him. The final scene, where Joker leads his platoon in a haunting rendition of the Mickey Mouse Club theme song, reflects the character's descent into a kind of moral ambiguity, a chilling reminder that war leaves no one unscathed. Section 5. The Unforgettable Presence of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. No discussion of Full Metal Jacket would be complete without acknowledging the towering performance of R. Lee Ermey as Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Hartman is the embodiment of military discipline and brutality, a relentless force of nature who embodies the dehumanizing aspects of war. Ermey, a former Marine drill instructor himself, brought an authenticity and intensity to the role that is impossible to replicate. Hartman's language is a barrage of insults, profanity, and threats designed to break down the individuality of his recruits and mold them into efficient killing machines. He is a master manipulator, exploiting their weaknesses and insecurities to achieve his objective, creating soldiers who follow orders without question. While Hartman is undeniably a terrifying figure, Hermé imbues the character with a darkly comedic edge. His insults are often laced with wit and dark humor, making him a strangely compelling presence on screen. Hartman's fate in the film, a direct consequence of his own brutality, serves as a stark reminder of the cyclical nature of violence. Section 6. Echoes of War Production, Music, and Critical Reception. Full Metal Jacket showcases Stanley Kubrick's meticulous attention to detail and realism. Kubrick transformed Becton Gas Works into a convincing replica of Hue City. Real weapons and military advisors ensured authenticity. The soundtrack blends period pop songs and haunting orchestral pieces. Kubrick juxtaposes upbeat music with the horrors of war. Surfin' Bird by the Trashmen during a helicopter attack exemplifies this. Full Metal Jacket received critical acclaim for its unflinching portrayal of war. Some critics found the second half less impactful. Despite this, it remains a landmark in war cinema. Section 7. A Cinematic Legacy, the Enduring Impact of Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket has left an indelible mark on popular culture. From Gunnery Sergeant Hartman's quotable insults to the film's haunting final scene, Full Metal Jacket has permeated our collective consciousness. The film's exploration of the Vietnam War, a conflict that continues to haunt America, remains as relevant as ever. Beyond its entertainment value, Full Metal Jacket serves as a powerful anti-war statement. Kubrick's film does not glorify war, but instead exposes its brutality, both physical and psychological. It forces us to confront the dehumanizing effects of conflict, not just on soldiers, but on humanity as a whole. Full Metal Jacket is more than just a war film. It's a timeless exploration of the human condition. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there is still room for compassion, humor, and the will to survive. As long as there are wars, Full Metal Jacket will remain a chilling and necessary reminder of the cost of conflict.